And hello, movie fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host Jonathan. Once again, bringing you my um, coverage of last night's Warner Brothers panel at CinemaCon 2026. So last night was Warner Brothers' big panel, and from what I've read and what I've heard online, they had a pretty good panel. A pretty good panel. Might be stretching it. They pretty much had the best panel so far. I mean, yet one Universal has yet to come out. The Doomsday trailer might come out this week, but hasn't come out yet. But depends on what Disney decides to do on Thursday, and of course Paramount hasn't had their thing yet. So, but tonight is Universal's. But let's talk about let's talk about Warner Brothers and what they talked about last night, because yeah, they had some pretty cool stuff. So I'm gonna start off with the fact that they talked about the fact that next week James Gunn is gonna start filming Man of Tomorrow, which is awesome. So he wasn't there at CinemaCon, but Peter Safran, his co-president, was there to talk about the fact that that's gonna be there. They also showed a clip for Supergirl, which is kind of cool. Apparently, the clip in the synopsis for what I read was she's waiting at the bus stop, which you saw in the trailer, and then apparently the bus is going to planet, and it gets hijacked by pirates, space pirates, which is always a good thing. And then, of course, Kara's like, no powers because of the sun, no sun. She tells the bus driver, hey, bus driver, take me to the nearest yellow sun, or get me as close as you can to the yellow sun. And then she wrecks shop. So apparently that's the details I read for what the clip was. So that's freaking awesome. So I'm very excited to hear about that. Apparently Jason Momoa came on stage in Lobo's motorcycle, so that's cool. Um, so yeah, that's amazing. They also showed a trailer for the brand new Tom Cruise movie Digger with Alejandro Inarritu. Probably butchered that. I apologize for the director. And it's not what we think about it. A lot of us were like wondering, what the heck is this Digger? Well, what is this? Apparently, the trailer shows an completely unrecognizable Tom Cruise as an old man, and he runs like this like mining digging company or something like that, and one of his guys calls him and says, hey, we got a problem, we can't dig here or drill here or whatever it is. And then he's like, no, just keep doing it. And a natural disaster happens, and now Tom Cruise has to be the only guy to save it. Apparently it's also a comedy. So just from hearing that synopsis, for me, made me want to go, yeah, this could be Tom Cruise's year for Oscars. Who knows? We have to wait and see what happens when the trailer comes out. But that sounds kind of cool to me, the fact that Tom Cruise is unrecognizable in this trailer. So yeah, so hopefully for the public like me gets to watch the actual trailer when it drops, and I will definitely do a reaction to that when it comes out. So that's so cool. They also talked about a lot of movies coming out in the next couple of years. We got the brand new Ocean's 11 prequel movie, Ocean's 12 prequel movie, another Ocean's movie. And apparently you got Bradley Cooper and Margot Robbie being a part of it. Apparently they're going to play, supposedly, that's just what I'm reading, they're going to be playing George Clooney's parents and how they set up the whole family to be who they are, him and Sandra Bullock and, the other movies. So that's cool. I love Margot Robbie. I love Bradley Cooper. So why not? That's kind of cool. They also talked about more Conjuring films as well, which is not surprising that they were going to say that the last movie, the last movie was the last movie, maybe with, the Warrens, but we'll probably get prequel versions of them, them younger and doing their investigation. So that's cool. All the spin-off characters. They did not talk about the Batman 2, which is not surprising because there's nothing to talk about besides the fact that they're going to start filming that thing soon. Although an announcement of them starting filming soon would have been cool, but I guess not. So they didn't talk about that. They talked about, what else did they talk about here? They showed the Evil Dead footage, which I'm like, come on, really? Another Evil Dead? And yeah, I want to see it now. Now, I like the last Evil Dead. Evil Dead Rises, I think it's called. I like that one. Creepy as hell. I love the Evil Dead franchise. I think that franchise gets better as it goes along. but I didn't think they were gonna make another one. So yeah, another Evil Dead movie coming out apparently. So that's great. So yeah, what else? They have a lot of, like, they showed off a list of movies coming out from 2027 to 2028. So that's cool. There's a lot of movies. They got like Godzilla versus Kong. They got Man of Tomorrow, obviously, the Minecraft sequel, another Conjuring film, The First Commandments, apparently. It's supposedly that's what the title, the working title is called. Batman Part 2, like I said. Obviously, The Hunt for Golem, an Ocean's prequel. And another Evil Dead movie is coming out after this one, so that's great. And what else? Buzz Luhrmann, the director of the latest Elvis movie, he's directing some new movie. That's kind of cool. So either that's pretty cool. Another Final Destination movie has been announced, so that's great. They work on the next La Llorona, or the Revenge of La Llorona. Apparently that movie's filming now, so that's great. So that's cool. So apparently they did like a sizzle reel for all of these titles. Well, I know a lot of information about it, but still very, very cool. So there's all that. There's Evil Dead. What else? Oh yeah, 2 trailers. 2 things that hit like when people went bananas for, apparently. So the first thing they talked about was the fact that they showed the trailer for Clayface. Now, from what I've read and what it's described to me, it is a body horror film. Like, this movie is supposedly straight up horror. Apparently, we see Matt Gargan, the main protagonist, playing Clayface. I think that's his name. Anyway, Matt Hagen, excuse me, Hagen, not Gargan, Hagen. He's in the hospital. Apparently, he's got one eye that's kind of like bulged out, and he's got band-aids up, kind of like a, like when you unwrap Two-Face from Batman the Animated Series and you see his other half. That's kind of in that vein. That's what I get. So apparently he has the bandages on, and we see flashbacks of him being handsome. And so I guess something happens to him, because at the end of the trailer, he's in his bathtub and he's wiping his face, and then it just turns into putty mush. So yeah, apparently there's also like a silhouette of him fighting somebody, and then his hand just transformed into a mallet. That's from what I'm reading here. Sounds so freaking crazy cool. So yeah, so whenever this trailer drops to the public, I'm excited to see it, because yeah, I think doing a Clayface movie, it was kind of like scratch your head, huh? Why? But then when Joker came out, the first one, not the second one, we don't talk about the second one, came out and made $1 billion, and we all questioned that movie, so we just don't question it no more. James Gunn, we have to trust. So the trailer sounds cool to me, so I'm excited for that. So hopefully when we get the trailer soon for us, in the public eye. Anyway, and of course the last thing they talked about, which they also talked about, the Hunt for Golem. They show, I guess, a clip, like a unfinished clip of the Fellowship of the Ring of Smeagol, aka Golem, aka Andy Serkis, who plays him, talking about, they're not going to know this story, I won't tell this story. And yeah, they're going to start filming that movie soon, and I cannot freaking wait for Lord of the Rings. I love Lord of the Rings so much. Anyway, I think it's such a freaking cool world, and more them in the Shire. Yeah, I'll take it. So we shall see how that turns out when it comes out. Like, hopefully by next year they'll have some footage for us, but for now, I guess they announced the casting, so that's cool. I don't have the list here for the casting, but it sounds great to me. Obviously everybody's coming back, and they kind of recast some people, because some people are either no longer with us or they're just a little too old for the role. So yeah, obviously Ian McKellen will be back as Gandalf, but yeah, still, and Elijah Wood is playing Frodo, so that's great. But yeah, I'm excited to see that. And then of course the last thing, which kind of bothers me, because I wasn't there to see it for my own eyes. Oh, before I even say that, excuse me, they showed the trailer for Practical Magic 2. Yeah, I think it's Practical Perfect Magic, I think it's called. Either way, the one with Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman. Anyway, they showed the second trailer, the new trailer for that movie, so that's great. I'm excited for that. I haven't seen the first one in forever, So yeah. So there's that. So now let me talk about why I'm a little upset. It's because they showed 7 minutes to 8 minutes, apparently, from what I'm reading, of Dune Messiah, and oh my goodness. Listen, if you ask me, if I was there in Vegas and I was able to go to one of the screenings, either you get to see the trailer for Doomsday right now, a couple days before the presentation drops on for the rest of the world, or you get to see 7 minutes of Dune. What are you picking, Jonathan? Well, me, I'm picking Dune. Why? Because Dune is freaking crazy. I already know what I'm expecting to get from Doomsday. Doomsday is going to be awesome no matter what. I'm excited for that. It doesn't really matter what they show me, okay? They can show me Deadpool showing up and fighting Doctor Doom. I'll still be excited. But Doom Messiah, like, oh my goodness. And apparently the book is not as good as it's not as good as the other books. And a lot of people are like kind of like wondering how they're gonna do this adaptation of it. But the director is like, yeah, I'm doing this for the fans. And apparently, from what I'm reading, it's basically an opening scene. If they redid Saving Private Ryan and put the dial from 10 to 11 and broke the dial, and the dial kept going with the violence and all that stuff. If you guys seen Saving Private Ryan, the opening beach scene, that scene is probably one of the best scenes ever filmed in the history of films. But apparently this scene tops it and is like dial to 11 and break the dial and let it keep going. And it's supposedly raining on that scene, so yeah. And apparently Paul Atreides, he's like now like an emperor kind of a character. That's what apparently Timothée Chalamet was there and Zendaya, and it was like, yeah, he's like the dark emperor of the trade of his people now. So it's like, okay, bring it on. This is what I'm hearing about it. So if I was there, I think I'd just be like, give me more, give me more, give me more, just give me more. This sounds incredible, man. And I'm telling you, that weekend is going to be insanity. First of all, I still think that Doomsday is going to move release date just so they can get that at least one weekend of IMAX screening. Because remember, I told you on my preview that Jumanji moved release dates, so there's a free open IMAX window for Doomsday to take. So if they can take it, great. If they can't, they can't. Then they won't have IMAX. Because if you were planning on seeing Doomsday in IMAX, you can't, because Doom Messiah is going to be there, or Doom 3 is going to be there. Because that's the name of the book, Doom Messiah, but they call it Doom 3. But yeah, so they took all the IMAX. So on that weekend, it's only Doom movies for IMAX. So, but if we get an announcement on Thursday that they're moving release dates for Doomsday, don't panic. It's only because they want that IMAX weekend. So we shall see. But yeah, Dune 3 is going to be freaking incredible, and I cannot wait. I'm glad to see that Zendaya was there to promote it. Although I was surprised she wasn't there for Spider-Man, but still. And Timothée Chalamet, very busy man. Now that we know that he's going to start doing Wonka 2, so that's great, because they announced Wonka 2. So they're going to start filming that apparently this year, so that's great for apparently next year's release. I like that movie, Wonka. It was really, really awesome. So yeah, there you go. There's my recap of everything that was shown and talked about during the Warner Brothers panel. Sounds to me that it was a phenomenal panel, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen. Now tonight we're going to get Universal, so tomorrow I'll do my full recap of what Universal dropped. But if any big trailers drop, apparently from what I'm hearing for Universal is that tonight, maybe today, later today, we're going to get Meet the Focker-in-Laws trailer. The new Meet the Parents trailer, the new one, the what is it, the fourth one? And this one has Ariana Grande in it. So if that drops, I'll do a reaction to that. Don't worry about it. But tonight is Universal. And yeah, so make sure you stay tuned for that. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about the Warner Brothers panel. Did you guys hear about anything that got you excited for, not excited for, a little disappointment that there was no Batman news? You heard about maybe you were there and you saw the Dune stuff. What you thought about it? Did you see anything else if you were there that caught your eye? For me, Diggers and Clayface were pretty much the standouts. Obviously, I'm not counting Dune because Dune's already a standout. But for like new projects, Digger sounds freaking incredible. Clayface looks like the most interesting thing that I've ever heard about a superhero film being straight up horror. Now, X-Men did that once with the New Mutant. They tried to win horror. It didn't really work out that well. But if this is going to go straight up horror for Clayface, body horror and all that, this will be a first. So I'm excited to see how that turns out when we get the trailer eventually. I'm very excited. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about any of this stuff. And what are you looking forward to next? Whatever it is, leave me a comment below. Let me know. Stay tuned for more. Thank you very much. And have a good day.